Okay, I think I'm live. I think it's working. I'm not sure. We're gonna find out. This is number 17 of 365. This one's called Perception versus Reality. I start in 5 seconds. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. I hope that you're doing well, and I hope that wherever you are is doing good for you. This is me, it's Paul Carpenter. This is number 17 of 365. What the hell did I think I was doing when I wanted to do 365 videos in a row? I'm an idiot for doing this and starting it up again. Okay, here we go. Yay. Oh my god. Oh, fuck. Okay, this one's called Perception versus Reality. Now, there's a lot to be said here. And the first thing I have to do is apologize. Apologize based on my perception of reality. And I bring this up because I bring this up for everybody, right? This idea that what's actually happening and what's going on in your head are two totally different things. I mean, on a major level, okay? And I think all of us have a fear of loss in our life, whether it's a loss of life, a loss of a friendship, a loss of a lover, a loss of a job. And in that fear of loss mentality, we start to create stories from bits of information that we gather along the way. And then we start to make those bits of information our reality instead of the reality of what's actually happening. Like, it's happening right in front of you, and you deny that reality completely. Like, for instance, myself, I tell a friend of mine, I don't want to be your friend anymore, this, that, and the other, I can't deal with you anymore, and I'm obviously having one of my flip outs, right? And what does he do? He comes to me and he's like, "Yo, dude, I'm worried about you, and I want to care for you, and I want to be your friend." And what do I do in that situation? I'm like, "No, I don't want to be your friend," because of this reality that I have in my head, this perception of what I believe is. And I wonder how much of that we do every day to other people in our lives that we don't even recognize that. Like, I'm recognizing it only because of the pain that I've created, or because of the pain that I'm feeling, or the loss of friendship, or whatever it is, right? And so I'm wondering, how many times do we do that in our own lives where we create this reality that's not real, and we create this perception of that reality that we hold on to as if it was like real. And then because of that, we destroy friendships. Because of that, we destroy relationships. Because of that, we go into this like state of, I don't need anybody, I can be totally on my own, and this super independence kind of ideology where it's like, I don't need anybody, and if I'm by myself, I'll be better because then I'm not hurting anybody. And I posted a thing about this about a week and a half ago or so, which talks about, like, if somebody's coming at you like that, it's only because they're in pain and they don't want to lose. And in doing so, if you're that person doing it, then you're just stopping yourself from having good relationships in your life based on the fears of your past. And you just can't do that. You just can't. Like, you just can't say that each time you go down the slide, you're going to go down head first and hit the wall. It just isn't going to be like that every time. Maybe it was the first 2 or 3 times because you didn't know how to get on a slide, or I don't know, the slide was really big and scary, and somehow or another you flipped while you're on the slide and you ended up on your head. I don't know. It could happen is all I'm saying. And I'm just saying that if you think that every time you ride the slide that that's what's going to happen, then fuck, you'll never ride a slide again, and then you'll just be the kid on the side of the park that's sitting in the grass, fucking with the grass and breaking a piece of wood being all lonely until hopefully one of the kids comes over and says, hey, do you want to play with me? And I mean, if you need to do that for yourself, by all means do that. I'm not saying force yourself to put yourself in a situation that is going to make you feel uncomfortable. Do that at times in life, sure. Always seek discomfort in the sense of wanting to find places that you know you need to do your work, like that shadow work, whatever makes you angry. And whatever it is that makes you angry is really you talking to yourself. You know that, right? So like whenever somebody else makes you angry, it's something that you most likely do in some kind of way, shape, or form. That is like, yo, dude, that really pisses me off that that person does that. It's because you do that on some level. That's your shadow work. That's your, as they say in Judaism, your tikkun olam, your earthly work. Because we're here to do something, guys. We're not here to just have jobs. We're not here to just go and talk about nothing and drink beer and get stoned. That's not what we're here to do, guys. We're here to do something so magical and so beautiful and so amazing. And I've found it at times in my life, for fuck's sake. I know that I have found it. I know that I've shared it. I know that I've given it to other people because, fuck, I've seen people's lives change. I've seen my own life change from the power of helping someone else, and then 4 or 5 years later, that person has the power to help me change, or help me become better, or remind me of the greatness that I am. But I only remember that because of the people in my life who sometimes say to me, hey man, looks like you're low, and I need you to recognize who you really are. And that's the other thing, and I wrote this yesterday, really late at night, but I said, no matter how depressed I get, no matter how many weird things I say about killing myself, or I don't like myself, or I'm a loser, or I don't know, dude, okay? But I promise you, and I want every single person to see this, my phone number is 832-323-1497. If you ever get to a point where you're depressed, if you ever get to the point where you're like in a place where you're sad, I don't ever want you to think, hey, Paul Carpenter's depressed, so I don't want to talk to him because he's going to make me more depressed. I never want you to think that. Because the one thing that helps me get out of my depression, the one thing that helps me get out of my sadness is when somebody calls me and I help them. It's when I am able to be of service to others that it makes my depression just disappear completely. And so this is why I'm constantly on the internet saying, please let me help you. Please let me show you how to build your dream. Because yeah, I might be crazy, and yeah, I might fucking say all kinds of crazy shit on the internet, throw my mother under the bus and my best friends under the bus and my best partner that I've ever had under the bus. But when it comes down to it, folks, I've done a lot more than most people will ever do in their entire life. Because they sit around scared in their house. And I just don't do that. Even with all the pain that I've gone through, even with all the fear that I've had to deal with and all the bullshit, I still go out there and do it again and again and again. Like I'm doing it now with graffiti. I just went to the bar that I usually hang out at and do magic at, and I like to talk to the manager. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do graffiti. He's like, yeah, dude, do what the fuck you want. You're Paul Carpenter. I don't give a fuck. I'm like, really? And I started painting at the fucking thing, and everybody was like standing behind watching, and they were like, oh, this is so cool, bro. Like, and there was one guy, he said something to the effect of, I thought that guy was the magician. And the other guy goes, he is. He's making magic right now. And I was like, oh, that fucking hit home, bro. Because that's the magic. The magic isn't so much the magic tricks. The magic is the way I live. The way I perceive things. And they're my own. They're not somebody else's perceptions. They're not somebody else's thoughts. They're not somebody else's book. It's the way I've put it together over the time that I've been here. And I'm not saying I'm right. Fuck, ladies and gentlemen, I'm obviously wrong on so many levels. I don't have a house. I don't have a wife. I don't have a car. I don't have kids. And these are, granted, not the most important things in the world, but having good relationships matters. And having fuck, I guess some form of responsibility matters. I've just tried to place these responsibilities in other places of my life because that's how I view what I'm supposed to do. Once again, doesn't mean that it's right. Just means that I'm attempting at my own level, in my own knowledge of life, and I've never had many people teach me, right? I've gone to classes, I've taken the courses, I've done the things, but we're talking about like one of those people in your life who's like a super mentor that's like there with you and like, I'm going to show you how to make the millions of dollars, or I'm going to show you how to be a man. I didn't have a father. My father worked from fucking 5 o'clock in the morning that he left his house till 8 o'clock at night, and I barely saw him on the weekends. He had Alzheimer's when he was 52. He died when he was 62. Fuck, man, I was 30. My dad passed away. How much of my dad do I remember? I mean, I've gone through with partners and my friends, and I have like maybe 7 to 10 memories that I can think of my dad when I like immediately pop into my head. And most of them are a man who's yelling and screaming at me. I never got hit, which was amazing, right? I never got beaten. I never had a switch. Never got spanked once in my life. That also results in this fucking craziness. But there was this really thing that I don't know if I've told you this, but my dad was passing away, and this is right before he goes to the hospital. It gets really bad, but I sat down with him when he was about 53 or 54, and we had a cigarette together. And he had been going in and out of this foggy stage, like you can remember, but then you don't remember anything at all, and then full on out of nowhere you just come back and you're fully clean, and like it's the same guy you were when you were like 30, right? So we're smoking a cigarette, and I swear to you, my dad pops in just like that, and he's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Hey, man," and he's like, "I just wanted to let you know it's like being in a fog. And sometimes you can see clearly and there's no fog around. Like right now, Paul, I can remember everything." And he goes, "And I remember never spanking you." I swear to God, this is the fucking weirdest conversation, but because I remember never spanking you. And I did it for a reason. Because there was something about you that I didn't want to take away. And I knew that if I spanked you, or if I forced life upon you, that it would take away this beautiful thing that you have. And there's two moments in my life that really hit home, right? So one of them was when I was like 6 years old, and I had this moment where I went meditating. I've talked about this story many times, but I felt like something had touched me on the head, and I felt like there was this saying inside of me that said, like, no matter what you do, I'm always going to take care of you. I'm always going to watch over you. And there's like a double-edged sword that comes with that when you give that to a 6-year-old child. On one level, it's like, yeah, I'm going to fuck what I do. I'm going to go get away with everything and do whatever I want, say whatever I want, be whoever I want, because fuck, God protects me, right? Which is a little wonky-tatonky, but I'm 44 years old, and after all the shit that I've gone through, there's no other answer for me other than God's protecting my ass. And so the other moment is that moment of my dad telling me that I didn't get spanked. And there's, once again, that double-edged sword as well, which is like, on one level, it's like, I won't spank you. And on another level, I leave you to your own vices and not have a sense of responsibility for yourself. And I think that in the end, when you're raising a child, and I've never done this, but I can only imagine that when you're raising a child and you do, discipline them, it's not in the sense that you're trying to get your anger out and beat the hell out of a child. That seems asinine to me, because fear is not going to work either, right? Too much fear works in the opposite direction as anything else, right? So I get it. You're putting discipline in the child's life to have them not be irresponsible later on in life or make decisions that they know are going to hurt somebody based on selfishness. And so, woof, that's a tough one, huh? Perception versus reality. Fuck me. couple things here. One, take as much from everyone that you can, and at the same time, listen to absolutely nothing anybody else says. Listen to everything that your heart tells you, and also know that your heart is a manipulation of your mind's thoughts. And don't listen to that either. But listen to it. You can only grab so much information from so many different places before, one, you get confused because it's too overwhelming, or two, you're allowing everything else around you to make the decisions for you instead of having your own choices after dealing with the in your head. I do it. I know you do it. We all do it. We all create these bubbles in our heads of who we are, or how people think about us, or how we feel about ourselves, or how we want to do or not do, or what we're doing or not doing. We all are fucked out of our minds, confused, folks. And anybody who's like, yo, I've got all the answers. I'm this guy, he's a guru, and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to tell you how to live your life. Well, I've done that. And I'm trying to tell you that even at that level, it's still the same. It's still the same. Now, go back to this quote because it's just slamming me in the head lately, which is, when I go to the gym and I like it, it's because I'm passionate. But when I go to the gym and I don't like it, it's because I have discipline. It's the same thing in your relationships. It's the same thing for your job. It's the same thing for your friendships. It's the same thing for yourself. So with that, my friends, I ask you to please go out into the world and do something nice for somebody else. And if you can't, do something nice for yourself. Look, I gave myself a haircut. Sucks, I know. But I felt better about myself. The video started becoming happier. What more do you want? Jesus. Listen, I don't know if you know this, but I have a Patreon. And I anything you want to survive me with, that'd be great. I have a PayPal account, Cash App, all that stuff. I do a thing where I even talk to people on the phone and give them ideas and stuff. If you want to join in on that, there's a whole thing there. If you don't, and you just want to be friendly and throw me a couple bucks a month, I'm gonna put in my Patreon one that's $1 a month, so it's like $12 a year, which is just ridiculous. And then I'm gonna do another one, which is like, $4 a month. I don't know. And then I'm gonna start making videos on Patreon, which are just for the Patreon supporters. So, number 2, please don't get caught up in all the crazy stuff in the world, because then you just, woof, it's not a good scene. And number 3, please like, share, subscribe. Send this to somebody who actually needs to see it, because sometimes I say some stuff that people need to hear. And maybe you just time code it and be like, yo, dude, listen to everything else except for minutes 11:1 to 16. Listen to those 5 minutes, because the rest of it's just him being crazy. But the other 5 minutes, there's some deep stuff there. Oh my God. Listen, thank you. Thank you for sitting here and listening to me. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for hanging out with me for even whatever amount of time you were here. And for those of you who were here this entire time, oh my God, I really appreciate you. And I'm not just saying that. I really appreciate you. And you too, Elizabeth. I know you're there. I see you posting your stuff. I really appreciate you, Elizabeth, for being so beautiful in my life and always being supportive and always being a friend, no matter where I am and no matter how weird I get, And Elizabeth's a beautiful woman, man. Good girl. Real good girl. Real good girl, A lot of pain in that life, but still a vibrant soul that just wants people to be happy around her. Which, man, after so much pain, it's so beautiful to see somebody not get angry. It's so beautiful to see somebody not be filled with pain and anger. I mean, I have so many people in my life like this, man. Hollis was just like that. She's this girl that's gone through so much fucking trauma and bullshit. And then I'm adding on to it. And yet, after all of it, still get a phone call. Still get a, hey, are you okay? Still get a, uh, hey man, can we talk? And let me tell you, that fucks you up, bro. That fucks you up, bro. I mean, like, I know I'm messed up. Like, I get it. Like, I know that I have issues, right? But I work at trying to make those issues not be there anymore. I work really diligently at it. And I'm like crazy about it. Like, to the point where anybody who really knows me knows that I'm constantly beating myself up saying, I need to do better. I need to work harder. I need to do more. I need to be better. Not for me so much, but for everyone else. Why? Because I have to be in service. I have to be in service. I have to be. That's what these fucking videos are for, Fox. I got to be in service. I have to be working for you, not for me. And I need you, please, folks, to understand that you need to be in the same mindset. You need to be in the same fucking mindset. It can't be me, 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 me. I work for me. I work for mine. I work for my friends. I work for my family. If you do that, then guess what? You only have a small little community to fucking hang out with. You don't have a global community. You don't have a fucking full-on planetary awesomeness. You just have little sects of people fucking angry at each other that they don't have the same thing you have. And I'm not talking about some socialism, and I'm not talking about some fucking communism, bro. I'm talking about living a real life where you recognize that what we're living in is fake, that it's all just bullshit trying to sell you something to take the money away from you that you work so hard for. And when you come to that realization, you start to realize, well, what the fuck, bro? Why am I fucking working so hard to fucking buy a new car, to have this, just so I can have something that I'm going to end up having to somehow or another be angry about because somebody scratched it or somebody did something to it or the insurance didn't cover it, all the bullshit of this life that has nothing to do with what this life is really, 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 really all about. And in the end, it's about finding something that you love so much and finding something that you care about so much and giving it away for free. I've said this for years. You don't charge for it. You just go and do it. Find a fucking child on the street who just had their birthday and you just walk up and start doing fucking magic tricks. No fucking asking of why. Just do. Create the positivity around you. And you don't do that by having a job and working and... That's not how you fucking do it, bro. You do it by walking up to somebody when you're at a bar and you're having a conversation with somebody and you see somebody behind the person that you're talking to and they seem depressed and they seem out of place and you walk up to them and you go, hey, I know I was in the middle of that conversation, you're with this person, but I just wanted to say hi, and I love you, and my name is, and you're beautiful, and you're awesome, and there's no reason whatsoever to fucking feel negative. There's no reason to have this perception that you've created into your reality of what's actually happening here. So let's be beautiful, let's be awesome, let's change our vibration. And once again, I'll say this last time. If you're ever at a place where you're sad, depressed, or unhappy, my phone number is 832-323-1497. Call me 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365. I don't care who the fuck you are. I don't care if you've never even met me before. I don't care if you see this on YouTube right now and you just want to see if it's actually going to work. I'm going to fucking pick up. And if I don't, and you leave me a message or a text message, I will call back. I'm weird. I don't have a job. I have all the time in the world to answer your questions, to help you find a passion that you're so powerful about that all you want to do is give it away. Because you know you have so much of it left. There's no end to the amount of awesomeness that comes through me because it comes through me by my Creator. And is that a place of bravado? Is that a place of ego? Maybe a little bit. But if I didn't have some kind of ego, I wouldn't get out of bed. If I didn't have some kind of ego, I wouldn't fucking take a shower or brush my teeth or give a fuck about anything. So I need a little bit of it. Number 3 was please like, share, subscribe, send this out to people. Last thing and always, I love you. I love you. And I love you so much. I really do. That I'll see you all on the other side.